All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we go. It's 2025, new season, new players. Yeah, let's go. I'm excited. Yahoo has finally opened up their 2025 season for fantasy football, so I got all our leagues set up and everything. So I just kind of wanted to go over all that kind of stuff. Talk about the rule changes, talk about the draft results, who can't be kept for this year, and then I'm going to end it off with quickly going through the rosters, so hopefully quickly, go through the rosters and say who I think people will keep, based on it being April 18th, before the NFL draft, before we know where we draft, because we'll get to that, but the Evil Buddies still have to pick their place. So speaking of that, I'll hop right in. We'll do a quick recap of last year. So as a reminder, Dallas is first-time winner in our league, first time for his franchise, for them to win the championship, so that's exciting for him. Second place for Tom. Tom's second year in our league, and he got a second place, so that's awesome. And then good old Mr. Weber, near the top, as always, it seems. Dave bringing home third place. Rob, who was the last entrant into the playoffs at number 8 spot, ended up in 4th, so he had a good playoff run. Evil Buddies finished in 5th, so as I mentioned, they have to pick their draft spot, and they have until July the 1st. And they can get that sent to me anytime before then. Even if you want to send me a text now and say, hey, I want this draft spot, that's fine. I'll just confirm with you right before just to make sure. After that, we have Jeremy, followed by Ty, followed by Richard. So that rounded out our playoff teams. And in the bottom teams there is myself, followed by Wayne, Jen, and Sunil. So that was last year. So based on the standings, right, we do the 9 to 12 gets first overall, right? So first overall goes to myself, followed by Wayne at second, Jen at third, Sunil at fourth, and then just reverse orders. Richard's fifth, Ty is sixth, and so on. So so that's exciting. Before I move on, I want to use the commissioner note on the app. I think that's the best place to kind of put any kind of updates, any information in our league. I find if you put it in the chat, it just disappears once transactions go through and that. So on the app there, if you go to that team tab at the top, and then you'll see right in the middle of the screen there's that commissioner note there. So right now I just have stuff in there about how I made the schedule, the same stuff every year, who can't be kept. So if you ever want to look to see who's been kept twice, you can just click on there and the 3 players are in there, which I will get to as we get going here. So, so I'll go to the draft results tab. I think that's next on my list. Yeah, so as you'll see here, we are down to 16 rounds again, as I mentioned at the end of last year. So I have the rules on the screen. What we'll do is we'll just bump everybody up who is around 17th, 18th pick into the 16th round. With that, it does help out, or it does affect, I think, roughly 5 or 6 people, I think, with potential keepers in those late rounds who can move up to a 16th round pick as your last round pick now. But other than that, we didn't have any other rule changes. I went through Yahoo's rules and everything as they updated each year. Nothing really stood out to me. There didn't look like there was anything new. I'll do a deep dive through it again soon. But again, I didn't see anything. So I left all the other rules the same. Like I mentioned, we are a little bit smaller roster. Should hopefully help with maybe some players being available on the waiver that we actually hear about in fantasy podcasts and all that stuff. So, let's see what's next on my list here. The draft order. Yes. So as I mentioned, I quickly went through the draft order, but it is on our screen there. So that's currently how it sits right now. Once the Evil Buddies, Jay and Adam, let me know where they want to have their draft pick anywhere between 2 and 12. I'll send out the updated draft order. I'll get that done on the website usually pretty quick. There will be a little bit of a difference I'll have to do this year because we had a trade last year that involved Sunil and Richard and moving of draft picks. I put it on the screen there, so it just shows what rounds. Sunil has 2 picks and Richard has 0. So when I was looking at the rosters kind of already, I noticed there was a couple guys that stood out to me who maybe they could keep, and then I was like, oh, they don't have a draft pick in that round. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. We'll see maybe if they want those picks back to maybe keep a certain player. We'll see what they want to do, but maybe they knew that already and that's why they were happy making the trade. So yeah. What do we got on my list here next? I mentioned the trade keepers, right? As I put in the email, I only mentioned T. Higgins and Jalen Hurts. That is incorrect. What I missed was Tom had also kept Patrick Mahomes twice now. So that means T. Higgins, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts are 3 guys who cannot be kept because they've already been kept twice. So those guys will be in the free agent pool come draft day. So let me go through here. Sorry, I just want to make sure. I've made some notes so I didn't forget anything. We're getting old now, so. All right, so as always, Yahoo starts with my roster. So I'll go through them. I'll try and be quick. We're already at the 7-minute mark here, so I'll try and keep this within 15. At the longest, and I'll go through each team, mention maybe who I think they'll keep, who would be good to maybe think about, I don't know. And then like I mentioned, when I hit Sunil and Richard's roster, I'll mention the 2 guys who I thought that I would have kept, but they don't have picks in that round. So with all of that said, we'll start with my team. Like my team last year, we just had some injury trouble. So unfortunately I didn't make the playoffs, but so obviously they're going to keep Jamar Chase as the 6th round. He's been floating around there since his rookie year, so this will be my 2nd time keeping him. So maybe if anybody wants to make a trade some point during the year, depending on how I'm doing, there's an option there, but otherwise I'm keeping him. I really have been thinking about taking Lamar Jackson as a keeper. He puts up tons of points. He's consistent. He doesn't really get injured. So I'm thinking about it, but 4th round keeper seems a little early to me for a quarterback. But maybe I could redraft him in the 4th instead, but I'm the end of 4th this time, so maybe not. So that one was one I was thinking about. Gibbs, if he wasn't a 1st round pick, I'd keep in a heartbeat. And then the only other guy there that I was really considering is Brian Thomas Jr. because he's a 7th round pick. Like I was thinking about Devonta Smith, but again, as a 3rd round pick, I don't think he's worth that. I could probably draft him around that round, late 2nd, early 3rd, kind of thing. And then Tank Dell, even being now a 16th round pick, I don't want to risk it on him this year. So I wish it was a different quarterback in Jacksonville, but I might end up taking Brian Thomas Jr. as my 2nd keep. The buddies here, sorry, just making sure I can see my list on the other side. Yeah. So again, he's got a couple guys who would be good keepers, but again, their value, like a Jonathan Taylor as a 1st round's too early. Debo as a 2nd would be too early nowadays. But yeah, so those are kind of 2 I thought. But to me, it just stands out who he kept last year. Devon Achane and Kyron Williams. I mean, Kyron Williams moves to a 16th round keeper. Achane still a 12th round keeper. How could you not at that value? I mean, he might surprise me and go a different route, but that's kind of who I was thinking the buddies would do. Jeremy had some interesting situations too that I liked. The one I would definitely think he's going to keep is Brock Bowers in the 9th. He's basically a receiver in the tight end position, 9th round pick. I think that'll be great. And then it was the decision between Breece Hall and Justin Jefferson. Jeremy drafts in the 7th spot. So keeping Jefferson as a kind of mid-late round, first round pick's not a terrible idea. I mean, if he doesn't keep him, I'll just take him first overall. Why not? Kill me in the running back room, but I'll take Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But yeah, so he might keep him over Breece Hall. I don't know what's going to happen with the Jets this year. Braylon Allen was coming on last year too. So I don't know how that running back room will look. So does he go the safety route with Justin Jefferson? But J.J. McCarthy, who knows, right? But I definitely think he'll go with Brock Bowers as one of his keep. Zay Flowers, DK Metcalf, potentially. But again, it's kind of early. Zay Flowers is a good receiver. He's always steady with Lamar. So maybe he goes that route instead of Jefferson and then just gets a first round pick. Right? Who knows? Rob has the 9th pick. And who did I have for Rob again? Right, so the obvious one there is Amon-Ra St. Brown. This would be a second time keeping him as a 3rd round pick. So maybe he's looking to trade him at the end of the year. Maybe not, depending on where he is. Okay, who else was I looking at? I like TJ Hawkinson as a 13th round keeper. You know, he's pretty steady. He's back off his injury after he kind of got rolling last year. He was, you know, top 5 tight end every week. I mean, but now he's got JJ, but checkdowns on rookie quarterbacks. You know, is also a smart play, so maybe he'll go that way. He also has Pacheco again he could keep. He's fairly good running back, 7th round. But they had a lot of running backs in that running back room last year. I don't know where they're at this year for running backs and what's going on there, but there's always that thought again. Tank Bigsby would now be a 16th round running back. He's probably that running back 2 kind of level, but as a late round pick, maybe it's something he does, a little off the board kind of pick, better than ETN as a first, and who knows what's going to happen with ETN anyway. So yeah, holy sorry guys, I feel like I'm going to cough here. I think that is all I was looking at there. Yeah, so it's mainly just Brown and then Bigsby were kind of what I was thinking. Dallas. I was just going to say he should just go Nico and Puka again. 2 great receivers, later round. Puka moves to his 16th. Collins is a 10th round receiver. He could just see who falls to him at the end of the first. Running backs might be gobbled up a bit, but when you got 2 receivers like that, doesn't matter. So I was thinking he'd go that way, and then I was looking through it a little harder, and I totally forgot about Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving came on amazing the second half. He should be the steady go-ahead running back on that team. I don't see why they would go away from him at this point. He proved he can handle the job, and Dallas has him as a 15th rounder. So originally I was thinking Nico and Puka, and after some thought, looking at some rankings, I think he was going to take Bucky Irving and Puka as his 15th and 16th round keepers. How awesome would that be? He takes his kicker in like the 13th round because it doesn't matter. Jeez, that'd be nice. All right, who's up next here? We got Ty. Ty is in 6th spot. So we're saying that the 6th overall pick, I don't really see Marvin Harrison being a player he keeps. I think he could probably redraft him in that spot if he really wanted to. Other than that, the only other real guys I like are the guys he kept last year, which was Garrett Wilson at 11 and Sam Laporta at 12. Nothing against some of this team, you know, like Hollywood Brown is an 8th. Probably not. Washington's running backs here. Brian Robinson Jr. is the 7th, is still pretty good. You know, maybe he likes Pickens in 3rd instead of Wilson. Who knows? I'm just throwing out names. But honestly, I think he would go Wilson and Laporta. Richard had a couple of ones that I was a little unsure of. The one that I thought he was gonna keep, for sure, was Jackson Smith and Jigba. I thought with Seattle losing Metcalf, he would take over the number one role, and then Richard traded his 6th round pick. So he can't keep JSN unless he gets a 6th round keep back. And then I was thinking about Jaden Reed and his, what's the word I'm looking for? Chemistry, that's the word. With Jordan Love, I thought they played well together. But I don't know if he would want to waste a 5th on him. Reed gets hurt. Might be a little risky of a pick. So then I looked at, AJ Brown. He traded for him. It's a 1st round pick, though. Richard picks 5th. So I don't know if he would keep him, but then why would he trade away the picks he did, right? So I'm going to say he keeps AJ Brown because I think by the time it gets to him, it's just going to be pretty much like a running back streak. I don't know. Because then if I look at it, the best person left might be a Nico Collins or a Drake London, maybe a Tariq Hill. Is that really better than AJ Brown? I don't think so. So I think he keeps AJ Brown. He doesn't have a 2nd round pick, so that'll be tough. But I think he'll do that along with Trey McBride as a 16th round pick instead of an 18th rounder last year. So that was a tough one for me. I mean, I don't see him keeping Walker in the 2nd, Josh Jacobs in the 1st, no. Jamison Williams in the 8th might be a good 2nd keeper instead of Trey McBride, or as a 1st keeper with Trey McBride. I'm not too sure what he's thinking there, but I think he'll go Brown and, who did I say there? Trey McBride, sorry. Wayne is up next. Wayne, I don't know if he forgets to do his keepers or just doesn't want to do keepers, but I will pick keepers for him anyway. The last 2 years, he hasn't done any. So for me, Cooper Kupp's getting older in age, but since Seattle is 3rd rounder, maybe. Drake London, I think, is early as a keep as a 2nd. If he really wants him, he could probably draft him right away in the 1st. Saquon, he is a 1st round pick. There's a good chance I won't take him at number 1 overall. So he can take him back that way if he really wants to. So he's got a little bit of a strategy at the 2nd pick, unless the buddies come in and take 2nd overall. But either way, I think Barkley or Lennon, one of them will be there for sure at that 1st pick. So maybe use some strategy and take Josh Allen in the 4th. Wayne would have a late 4th round pick, so maybe securing Josh Allen as your stud quarterback, and then pair that with Ladd McConkey as your 8th round keeper. I think McConkey will be a number 1 receiver this year, like a top 12 guy, or at least right around that 12 spot with Herbert. So might as well keep him. He's a rookie, get next 2 years out of him. Then maybe use him for some trade bait. Who knows, right? But I think McConkey's a good one there. And like I said, I would go Josh Allen as his other keeper, and then just see who falls to him at that 1st pick he has at 2nd or 3rd. All right, moving on to Tom. Tom was a little tricky one too. He drafts at the 11th spot. So for me, that made it easy for him to keep CeeDee Lamb. Right at the end of the 1st round, it's a no-brainer. He'd be gone before I got back to him. I would do that. And then the other one I really struggled on, and not because of the players, but more so their value, right? Like, you can't keep Mahomes because he's kept him twice. Derrick Henry potentially could be back there at the 2nd round. He's a year older. The guys before him, by my count, that'd be about 8 picks. Are those 8 people going to take it, a 33-year-old running back? I don't know. We all thought that last year. So maybe if he really wants him, he can get him in the 2nd round. But it's always tough to keep the 1st and 2nd round, because then it's no different than drafting, right? So I don't know if you'd want to keep them both. And then kind of the rest of the team's just middle of the pack, right? Like James Conner's a 5th. You could probably redraft him. He's another year older. They drafted a rookie running back last year. Maybe he doesn't see the ball as much. Maybe Jordan Addison in the 8th, 3rd year, is really turning into a good receiver. But again, you have a rookie quarterback in there. So we'll see. But my list, I did go CeeDee Lamb there as a first round keeper, and then Jordan Addison as our 8th round keeper. All right, how many more do we got left? 1, 2, 3 to go. Ooh, I'll speed this up a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. Jen is up next. Jen will be drafting in the 3rd spot currently. Again, I found hers really tough, not because of player names, but just kind of the way the offseason's gone and how teams are starting to look. T. Higgins she can't keep because she's already kept him twice. Christian McCaffrey, 1st round, she picks 3rd, maybe 4th. Missed pretty much all of last year. Do you risk it? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. So I'm saying she's not doing it. But then I kind of was stuck on the rest of the team. I don't know about Tony Pollard. Mostert in Vegas, I don't know. Naylor in Minnesota, he's the 3rd receiver there. Unless they draft somebody, then he'd be the 4th. Nick Westbrook at Kinhe in Miami. I mean, you got other Waddle and Hill ahead of him. So I was really struggling here. So what I ended up doing for the keepers for Jen is I went completely off the board. I thought, why not draft 2 guys who have the potential to be in that 15 to 20 range for receivers, lock them up, and then with her first pick, she could go running back because there should be at least one good top 5 running back there, and then go heavy after that. Or maybe she sees a good receiver and then she's really got set in receivers and then she can go running backs. Who knows? So what I did for her is I took Josh Downs at 10. I really kind of liked how him and Anthony Richards play together. I think they'll continue to develop. So I think Downs is a good, solid receiver. I think he'll surprise people. Just saying. And then the other one was Juwan Jennings. With Debo gone, I think he's going to be the guy there, step up and take over. And as a 16th round keeper, why not? Right? Like any given week, he's probably putting up 10 to 15 points, I think, in our PPR league. Why not take him? Take the chance, right? That's like 200 points from a receiver. It's pretty good as a 16th round keep. I don't know, play your board. That's kind of what I was thinking there. So those are the 2 guys I went with. Whether or not she goes, she might go Burrow, who instead surprised me. Who knows? But that's what I was thinking. Sunil is drafting in the 4th position currently. So for him, I really liked his keep last year of Terry McLaurin. I wasn't even thinking about him last year. I've been burned on him before, so I wasn't a fan. But with Jaden Daniels there now, he's going to be a top receiver, right? So that's a 4th round keep for him. So to me, that's the smart pick. And then I wasn't really too sure what to do after that. I don't think he'll go Kyle Pitts. Pitts is over. If Kelsey retired, maybe you would sneak in Noah Gray there as a 16th round keep. Could be a sneaky little play. So what I actually like here is Joe Mixon as a 3rd round keep. That means he has, a top 8 probably receiver, and Daniels. Mixon's going to be a top 12 every week running back, especially if they can get a little bit more healthy again from last year, with losing Dell and stuff. They were moving pieces. So get Mixon healthy, get him in there, and then he has all the options in the first 2 rounds because he's got 3 picks in the first 2 rounds. So I say secure those 2 players and then see what you get from there. And finally, at the 25-minute mark, sorry everybody, we have Dave and the Bills Mafia here. So Dave is drafting from the 10th spot currently. This one I had some troubles on, not because of the players, but more so, what's the best way to go? You know, I obviously think he's going to keep Malik Neighbors as a second round pick. I think he's a top 10 receiver capabilities. So having him, I know it's at the beginning of 2 for Dave, but I still think that's a smart pick there. Like I think it's better than Devontae Adams. Don't really like, maybe he likes Shakir at Buffalo, but probably not over Neighbors, right? Swift, I wouldn't do. Kelsey, I wouldn't do as a 4th. People are high on Cortland Sutton, but as a 7th, does he want to take him? I don't know. Kamara as the 3rd, I wouldn't do. Hurts he can't keep. And then the one I settled on for Dave was Rome Odunze. I just think it's a sneaky little pick. Year 2 with Caleb there. 6th round keep. You get 2 good receivers. You can go running back early, lock it up, and go from there. So that's what I think. I'm going to put it on the screen over my face here now. Kind of who I put as everybody's keepers. You can quickly go through it there. So hope you had fun. It's been a lot longer than I expected. First video of the year, got chatty, had fun. I want to do some fun stuff coming up this year. We hit the NFL draft next weekend, so I'll try and get another video out before that. So enjoy your Easter, enjoy the long weekend, and we'll talk soon.